And another one falls. Recently, Valve implemented a controversial ruling stating no more opener qualifiers for the Shanghai Major happening later this year in November. Mark your calendars because the start of the opening stage for the Major will be November 30th, giving ample time for teams to gather their starting rosters, acquiring visas, and practicing for the biggest event of the year. This Major, however, feels off. It's been cheapened knowing that homegrown teams like Ecstatic will never get the opportunity again. Instead, Valve rankings will determine whether you're worthy enough to make it to a qualifier at all. Take Fluxo as a prime example. Formerly entered into the Major back in Paris 2023, it was the only Major they've competed in. Whilst the showing was not what they were hoping for, the Brazilian team nowadays have been on a heater, with 6 straight wins and the last being a grand final 3-1 win over Pain Gaming. In a best of 5, Fluxo won the Regional Clash Arena South America 2024 tournament. Claiming $30,000 in the online event, they have plenty more events, including a Blast Premier qualifiers for the fall of 2024. Guess what? None of that matters. Being the current number 70 team in the world and showing remarkable promise, Fluxo need to hope that their Valve ranking of 70 is good enough for them to be eligible for a major closed qualifier. And even if they did receive an invite, they need to beat the best of the best in South America. Furia, Red Candidates, Imperio, Pain Gaming, and again, MIBR, just to list a few. That's a tough road to the major, even if they get invited. Which is why some teams are already becoming victims of this controversial ruling. Entropiq sadly being one of them. Entropiq bench roster, quote, due to changes in major qualification, end quote. That's right, Valve killed off one of their own teams. Less than 2 months. 2 months in! And the Czech team playing are now packing it up. The whole roster being put up on transfer, it's unknown if any of them will get another chance this year to make a major. And it's sad because this roster was actually a decent one on paper. Tizian from former Big Clan, Buzz from former Astralis, and Fasher from former Fnatic. This was a really good team backing them. But the saddest, most heart-wrenching part of this whole thing, listen to the quote from the team. Quote, "It took us a while because it was a very hard decision. But due to the changes in major qualifications that made us unable to take part in the biggest CS2 event of the year, Entropiq has decided to bench the CS2 roster with immediate effect," end quote, Entropiq said in a statement. And for another quote, "We'd like to thank all the guys for their effort and wish them good luck with their future careers," end quote. They wanted to stay, but because the open qualifier has been dismantled, it left Entropiq no choice. And that's not the only team. iNation was forced to disband as well. Thankfully for those players, Partisan signed the core of the team. AidKit, not one of the players to join, Partisan are now currently ranked 115th with no events upcoming. For now anyways. And yet more teams are falling out of CS as well. Secret being one of them, they only lasted 4 months. While CS2 is a game, it's a game that many pros love and play for their career. And whilst I know there can only be one winning team at a time, competing for the major and trying to reach for that dream, that moment where you are immortalized in Counter-Strike history, there's no feeling like it. And it's been taken away by one of the most valued companies in the world in Valve. Why? What possible reasoning could you have?
To stave off cheaters?
Fix your anti-cheat.
There were communication issues.
Post schedules and make it clear to each team when to show. Zero tolerance.
Well, people had high ping complaints stacked up.
Create and use more dedicated servers. How many do you think you have in CS2 right now? You have until November to get everything together to host over 500 teams to qualify for a major. And you're telling me, as part of one of the biggest FPS games in the world, in esports history, you can't do it right after a decade of trying. After all, when Copenhagen came around, didn't you say that you were, quote,
major ready?
End quote. So don't tell me that you can't host the opening qualifiers again, because you can. So do it. Prove me wrong and host it once more with dedicated servers, proper schedules, and anti-cheating networks. Because if you don't, then you're effectively saying, we're fine killing the dreams of multiple hundreds, if not thousands, of professional players to make a major. And if you are, that's sad. Hoping you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching. If you did, like and subscribe. It's free and it helps out a ton. Also, check out the video on your left, and I hope that you have an epic day. I'm out. Peace.